freestyling, baby. Let's go. Another freestyle. But Saturday. Wake up. I already know what it is. People gotta work too hard in America. Everybody else. Yeah, man. But yeah. If I'm bringing y'all something on a Saturday morning, y'all know it's real. And it's really not a morning, it's midnight. So, what we talking about today on a freestyle? Is Mike McCarthy set up to be fired in 2023? God dog, on a Saturday morning, boss? Yes. Wake up. Is Mike McCarthy set up to get fired? That's a real question, man, because this show looking like it. It show seems that way. I'm listening to you, Dallas Cowboys. I'm listening and I'm listening well. You're seeming like you're up to something no good. But it might be good. We just gotta let it play out. All of this might be good. We gonna sift through the tea leaves. Y'all give me a second. Let me set up this plane. I'll be right back. It's that time where we get to talk about these Dallas Cowboys. Yes, it is that time. All right, man. What's up, everybody, man? Welcome to BossCowboySports, where your voice matter. I see y'all coming in the building. Give me a second to get everything set up. It's the same old, same old. Y'all know how it go. Yeah, here we go. Y'all already know I got to kick it off. Yeah. All right, so I see y'all already coming in the building. This is a freestyle. Turn this down. Yeah, man. So I'm coming to y'all on a Saturday. This is the very first freestyle Saturday. All right, so we go get right into the topic. I'm not gonna even say hello today. I ain't gonna say hello because I always say hello to everybody coming in the building. I'm gonna just get right into the content. I'm gonna just tell y'all what's going on. So what's going on is Bobby Belt is obviously one of the better insiders for the Dallas Cowboys. He truly is. And he's somebody that I pay very close attention to because to me, this might not be to you, but to me, he has his finger on the pulse of the real thoughts and the real feelings that's coming from the Dallas Cowboys. Because when you listen to them talk, they say sometimes a lot of things that's different privately than they say publicly. Because remember, it was Bobby Belt that let out that they really think CeeDee Lamb has beta energy. But in the public, about 3 days later, Jerry Jones came out talking about how they feel like he's going to be a better number one than CeeDee Lamb. So when I'm trying to measure this Kool-Aid, I'm always trying to get the clues of what's really going on. And I think Bobby does a good job of really getting the real knowledge from the people that make those decisions. So he's very much in touch, and I think he's also very good in tea leaf interpretation. I think he has a real good pulse of what's going on. So when a lot of people was holding out optimism with CeeDee Lamb, with Amari Cooper, it was Bobby Belt that was telling us the whole time that likely they getting ready to move on. And he was saying it real early, right? Now, I saw it coming early, but the person that was giving the thoughts of front office was Bobby Belt. So, y'all just check this out. I'm going to get right into it, and we going to just talk about it. Here we go.
Bobby joins us now here on 105.3 The Fan. Bobby, how the heck are you?
Living the dream each and every day, General. How are you?
Doing great. How safe is Mike McCarthy going into this year?
I think that if they fail to get further than they have in the last 26 years or whatever it is, if he is not able to get them past that, which would mean obviously the NFC title game, I'd have a really hard time seeing him come back. So I think there's a threshold, and he's really going to need to meet it in order to stay here for the long term. And I think if he falls short of it, then I think the odds are pretty decent that Dan Quinn would be your next head coach.
So let me stop right there. See, first of all, I started this show with a thumbnail asking the question: is Mike McCarthy set up to get fired in 2023? Just listening out the gate, the answer is yes. Yeah, they setting him up. That's what it seemed like to me. And this is why. Because notice they put a standard on him that hasn't been on any of the previous coaches, according to Bobby Belt. So he got to take, to keep his job, he got to take the Cowboys farther than any coach in the last 26 years. That's his standard for keeping his job. That's a pretty high bar. And I'm not saying he shouldn't be held to high standards, but to keep your job, that's your threshold? Let me listen to it again. Let me make sure I heard that right. Here we go.
NFC title game, I'd have a really hard time seeing him come back. So I think there's a threshold, and he's really going to need to meet it in order to stay here for the long term. And I think if he falls short of it, then I think the odds are pretty decent that Dan Quinn would be your next head coach.
And notice he already said who likely the next head coach would be. He said it would likely be Dan Quinn. Now, is it wrong? That's the thing. Right? Is it wrong? Because I can kind of see the dilemma that the Dallas Cowboys are in, because they sitting here with a coach who did a massive turnaround of your defense with Dan Quinn. I'm talking about a massive turnaround, right? And you also know likely if you the Cowboys, because I'm trying to put myself in their shoes as well. This is not about just pissing on the Cowboys. This is about really trying to think this through. So if you the Cowboys, you sitting here with an option. You like, okay, what am I gonna do? And likely Dan Quinn is gonna likely have another good year. And he gonna likely be a top candidate to move on to a potential head coaching job. He almost got away last year. So when it started looking like he was almost getting away, they have to think, okay, what am I gonna do? Do I let a guy who's doing an incredible job on his defense, go because he's going to be courted likely especially if they repeat that defensive performance for another guy that's good, but I'm not all the way sold on? So Mike McCarthy already warned. He already said that the Dallas Cowboys like to look at big picture stuff. That's a big picture question. If you're trying to look forward past 2023 and you already foreseeing that Quinn could get away with the amazing job that he did, I can see asking themselves a real question. Would you rather have Quinn or would you rather have Mike McCarthy? And so if you keep Quinn, you stabilize and continue the momentum that's happening on that defense. I could also see the Dallas Cowboys saying, but also if we let Mike McCarthy go and just promote Dan Quinn, we also not losing that much momentum on offense because we have our boy Kellen Moore. So you more than likely continue your continuity. And I'm just thinking out loud, y'all. I'm just putting myself in their shoes. You more than likely keep your continuity by focusing on keeping Quinn. You have a chance of losing your continuity if you focusing on Mike McCarthy. That's just the real. That's just the real. And remember, Mike Tomlin had he had a wise statement the other day on the pivot where he was talking about it's situations that buy you time and it's situations that take away your time. Could we be looking at a situation, and it's almost just like athletes, we just keeping it real now, when you got a young Dak that's coming up the wings behind Romo, that was expiring Romo's time. It's what it was. Dak broke too many records as a rookie to then just be like, we finna move him back to the bench for Romo. The performance of Dak expired Romo's time. Even though Romo could have still played likely. He had stuff in the tank. He did. He was injury prone at the end, but he could still play. But his time was expired, and it was because of the performance of Dak. Because of the epic performance of Quinn, that has now put epic pressure on Mike McCarthy. And it's just what it is. It's the nature of competition. That's why Mike Tomlin said every day, I got to get up with an edge, because none of us know when that day coming, but we do know when to get here. Boy, y'all better listen. So anyway, let me go back to Bobby Bell, because he laid out some nuggets. Here we go.
I mean, is that more about maybe Jerry Jones? Do you think Jerry Jones, if expectations are, not met, is it Jerry Jones the one making the call, or Stephen Jones going to say, oh, no, we need to stay the course here and, keep this thing kind of going? What do you think? Is it Jerry just kind of overriding everybody?
I don't know that it would necessarily have to. In certain circumstances, I don't think he'd have to override people. I think if they come out here and they struggle and they miss the playoffs, I think there'd probably be a lot of uniform thinking on that. Now, if they get to the divisional round and they win a wild card game or something like that, maybe there'd be some resistance and say, hey, we need to look at this another way. But I do think that in that instance, it'd probably be more about Jerry saying, look, we don't have time to fool around with this. I need results that are better than what we've had in the last several years. And I think there's a real belief for a lot of people in that building in Dan Quinn. And so, barring, now obviously, let me put this aside there. There was a lot of belief also heading into the 2019 season in Chris Richard, and that obviously was undone.
Right.
But, barring some sort of catastrophic backslide and tension with players, which Dan Quinn does not have a history of, I think that he's in a really good position to swoop in and take this job if Mike McCarthy doesn't meet expectations.
And remember, those expectations for Mike McCarthy
Yoga fire
are high. And, you know, that's kind of unfortunate. It really is. It is. That's why it has a smell of sabotage. You know, is for all these years, you had these super subpar standards for Jason Garrett and these other coaches. And then you actually get a Super Bowl winning coach and you want to create these high standards as if you've been living up to New England's track record over the last 25 years. It just has that reeks of, it just stinks, you know. And it's unfortunate. It's life. It's what happens. But to a degree, it's not right. But at the same time, it is business. And it's honestly just also having their back. Just having their back a little bit. I got to get front office back a little bit. It's not their fault that Dan Quinn is super exceptional right now. I'm sorry. And the performance of Dan Quinn is putting heat on Mike McCarthy. Can we just keep it real? Yes, it's putting heat on Mike McCarthy. That's what's going on. And Mike McCarthy, you gotta steer this ship because they are looking to they are looking to
finish him.
Yeah, the writing is on the wall. But and it's obvious because of the super high step. He has to reach the NFC Championship. Listen to this. See, hold on. I have to laugh at that. What's up, Cole? I see my boy Cole in the building. What's up, Douglas? I see you. What's up, man? God, dog. Listen at the standard that they putting on Mike. He got to reach the NFC Championship or he's out of here. Really? Because, in my opinion, most coaches are judged by the progress that they're making. Are they building us the right way? Are they taking us in the right direction? You know, giving him a short stick. I'm telling you, this short stick is because of one reason. They really don't want Dan Quinn to get away. They don't. They don't. And I understand why. I get it. I already said why earlier. If you missed it, just rewind it after I finish. But going back to Bobby Belt, I just want to continue to listen. Check this out.
Bobby Belt with you here. So do you think Sean Payton is the next candidate, or is he in the mix at all in your mind?
I mean, there'd be an outside chance, I think, on Payton, but the odds-on favorite to me would be Quinn. I think that this was about, this past offseason, they paid Dan Quinn, gave him a nice pay raise to make sure that he stayed here and was coaching the defense. And I think it was also an insurance policy of like, hey, we're going to review some things, and this may be a job that's open next year. And that's why I think you heard Jerry talking the way he did at Senior Bowl. And those comments, and I know we've talked about this on the station before, those comments, honestly, have opened things up to where you're likely going to have a distracted locker room every time you lose. So
wait. This ain't funny, y'all. This ain't funny. This is sad, bro. This is sad. Let me rewind what he just said. Listen.
Those comments, and I know we've talked about this on the station before, those comments, honestly, have opened things up to where you're likely going to have a distracted locker room every time you lose. So, I mean, even if you go 12-5 this year again, that means that you're spending essentially 5 weeks of the season distracted by questions about your coach's job security.
Listen at that. God, dog. So, for those who don't know, what he's talking about is the comments that Jerry Jones made about Dan Quinn potentially being the next head coach. And he said that in this offseason. And Bobby Belt is saying, the words that came from Jerry has set up a schism or potential division in the locker room. Because listen at the standard and listen to the uphill battle Mike McCarthy has. Just listen, that even if he go 12-5 because of what Jerry said publicly about recruiting Dan Quinn to be potentially the next head coach, while Mike McCarthy is the head coach, that automatically set up the division in the locker room. He said even if they're 12-5, they already know every loss, even with a 12-5 season, they gonna be talking about, well, should Dan Quinn take over? Damn.
Finish him.
Man, that's sad, bro. That is dirty. So you can have a 12-5 team and still, as you're 12-5, it's gonna be people like, should we move on from you? And that's only because of Jerry talking. That's why my thumbnail says, why do you sabotage yourself? It's literally self-sabotage. They have to talk so much in the public that even when they try to move on, you can't. Because the damage is already done. You've already cut the nuts off your head coach. You've unsullied him. Now, he gotta repair that, what you broke. He gotta repair that. So that's the situation that Mike McCarthy is. I'm gonna rewind that real quick because I want y'all to really listen to that. Listen.
I know we've talked about this on the station before. Those comments, honestly, have opened things up to where you're likely going to have a distracted locker room every time you lose. So, I mean, even if you go 12-5 this year again, that means that you're spending essentially 5 weeks of the season distracted by questions about your coach's job security. And so that's a tough position to be in. There's going to have to be a lot of strong player leadership this year to weather that. Because even if they're having a successful season, there will be a lot of patches throughout the year where they're having to answer questions about that. But I think that, yeah.
So he raised a hell of 5 point. So the question is, do we have the leadership? I'm gonna take a call before I get into that. I'm gonna open up the phone lines. All right, here we go. And then I'm gonna address that. Do we have the leadership to overcome it? So we got the phone lines open. So we got 941-942-2100. I ain't gonna take too long today. Y'all better call in or I'm gonna go right back to this content. I'm gonna stop talking. But yeah, so that's the question, is do we have the leadership? Because that's his last point. So I'm opening up the call lines. I'm giving y'all a little bit of time to call in. So once again, it's 941-942-2100, 941-2100. All right, so let me go back to this content because y'all ain't calling. Because y'all got to be like Coach Marv. When I put that number out there, y'all better call in fast because I got stuff to do today. But going back to the question, all right, or what I was saying is, you know, do we have the leadership? And the answer to that, as I got the call line still up, to me, we do. Hold on. Boss Cowboy Sports. Hello?
Oh.
Yo. Hello? 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 All right. I don't know why I can't hear you, but I got you up. So just call back.
What's up?
All right,
I'll call you back.
No. I can hear you now. All right. Boss Cowboy Sports.
Hey, what's up, boss? This is Michael Evans. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Mike? Good you calling in.
I appreciate it. Lord have mercy, boss. Why are you giving these hate merchants all these screens? you know that 105.3 the fans, they hate the Cowboys. They hate them to the point where they want to see them fail because it's better for them for ratings and clicks. They don't want to see this team succeed. They want them to fail. And to answer your question, are they setting up Mike McCarthy to fail? The answer to that is yes. And not only that, but they're setting Dak Prescott up to fail as well.
Ooh, God dog, man.
Finish him.
You coming in heavy. Go ahead, though. I'm listening.
I see what they're doing. Why would they come out in the press and say this? Did these guys at the start say to keep everything in-house? They don't know how to do that. They want to put everything out there. They want to be the center of the media world. They want everybody talking about this. So now you watch on the 4-letter network, the 3-letter network, it's Cowboys. They want all the attention, but again, they're sabotaging themselves. It's like you said on your thing. Why do you sabotage yourself? Well, that's what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's just sad.
It is.
I mean,
it's sad.
Can we please stop this talk about Sean Payton? He's not coming here.
No, Miami showed.
For the love of God, he is not going to come here.
Nah, not see because Miami showed that. Go ahead though. I like this guy.
Right. I mean, are they going to pay him $100 million? No, they're not.
Right.
They're not doing that. I mean, Sean Payton's record is identical to Mike McCarthy. They got one Super Bowl. They coach a Hall of Fame quarterback. The only thing that's different between Sean Payton and Mike McCarthy is McCarthy doesn't call plays. And if McCarthy wants to, he thinks he's going to go down with this ship, he needs to come out with a press conference today and say, I'm the head coach. Kellen Moore is now the offensive coordinator, a name only. I'm going to call the plays. And just stick it out there. Get those you-know-what swinging so Jerry and Stevie can see it and say, I'm the man here. I'm going to run this show.
I definitely think he eventually has to do that. He definitely has to do that. But especially with the standards that they put on him. They put some high standards on Mike McCarthy. Just super high.
I mean, Jason Garrett had 10 years, and they never said this.
Right. Ooh, come on now. Talk your talk.
Yoga fire.
Never. They have never given Jason Garrett an ultimatum to say you have to get to the NFC title game to keep your job.
Right.
They never did that. They didn't do it to Wade. They didn't do it to Chan Gailey. They didn't even do it to Bill Parcells. They didn't put this on him. Well, you're going to do it to McCarthy? The man went 12-5 last year.
It's sabotage, man.
And you're going to come out, you're going to fire him? He was the number 3 seed in the playoffs. He went 12-5. It wasn't he go 5-12. He went 12-5.
He went 12-5.
If he's let go, he'll be on the open market for like 5 minutes. Right? Someone's going to pick him up. And Dan Quinn already said he didn't want to be a head coach. His quote was, "I'm happy with my crew." He could have had the Broncos job. He could have had probably the Jacksonville job. He could have had the Giants job. He pulled himself out of the running for head coach job. He said, "I want to stay here and coach my guys." So if they fire McCarthy, are they gonna fire Kellen Moore too, or are they gonna set the next? They're gonna set up Dan Quinn with Kellen Moore as well.
You know what they gonna do.
McCarthy is not the problem.
No, he's
there
not.
are issues with the team, but it's not McCarthy's not one of them.
Right.
So I just wish they just for God's sake just stop this. I don't know why people just keep. They want to see this team fail.
Ooh.
Because it gives them ratings, it gives them more attention, and it gives them clicks, and it makes them more money. Cowboy hate is huge business in the media. It just is.
Bruh.
Oh, God, but okay. I'm done with my rant. I just had to call in and get that off my chest.
Hey, man, that was fantastic. Whenever you need to crawl my shoulder, big dog, call in because it was worth it.
All right, Bud. I appreciate it.
All right, big dog. That was Mike. God, dog. Did Mike lie? All right. So, see, listen, I got to get Mike back because I can already feel the doubt coming in from what he said. Like, why would a radio station root for drama? Hey, listen, I'm going to quote Bobby Belt. This is what Bobby Belt said himself. I want y'all to listen. Come here. I got to tell you what he said. I'm going to tell you. He said, if it bleeds, it reads. That is the environment of media, all of it. The more drama, the more mess, the better it is for them. Because sadly, people don't just tune in for information. They don't. People tune in when stuff is bad. Our ratings was sky high after the playoff loss. I mean, our views was off the charts because it was drama. But when we talking about solutions and we was doing side-by-side comparisons of, for an example, Lyle versus Steele, to try to solve a problem. Oh, the views? It was. Now we present a solution with evidence. People didn't want to hear it. So, really, the media is only doing and reacting based on what we do. If we wasn't so prone to mess, they wouldn't be prone to want to feed us mess. It's an echo chamber. It really is. And it goes to the root of who we are as a people. And we've been like that. Like, even when we was kids, what would we do when a fight would break out? Preschool, kindergarten. All the kids in unison would say, fight, 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 fight. I don't care if you're in Africa. I don't care if you're in Texas. I don't care if you're in Canada. I don't care if you're in Venezuela. It's in the nature of us to want to see drama. So that does create what Mike is talking about, to where you got the media rooting for drama. And they will put stories out there that's for drama on that. Ain't it just stupid? Just I was thinking about this yesterday. I wanted to do a video on this, but isn't it just so stupid that we still got our own media saying we need to, is Dak that guy? Going into year 7 and after getting the max contract. Is he still that guy? Does we need to take a look at Dak? But in 1 year, everybody just was certain on Herbert and Burrow. Just certain. Oh yeah, they're future. They are the future. Well, Herbert ain't won no playoffs. He ain't been to no playoffs. Dak was year 1. But Dak got something to prove by our own local media. Yeah. It's just what it is. It's drama. And so Dak even if Dak take us to a Super Bowl, well, getting there is not enough. You're really not anything significant until you win it. Yeah, they go just change the narrative. They go just bleed it so people can read it. All right, so let me call Douglas real quick. I'm making an outbound call to the Big Time Show.
Please leave your message for 9.
Okay, I tried to call you, Douglas. All right, so let me get back to this content real quick that we talking about. Is Mike McCarthy set up to get fired in 2023? Ooh, it looked like it to me. It looked like it to me. So I was going back to the point that Bobby was making, because he was making a good point. I'm going to want to go back to it a little bit because he was talking about the leadership. So let me go back to that, and then we go get into the sauce. Here we go.
Actually, 5 weeks of the season distracted by questions about your coach's job security. And so that's a tough position to be in. There's going to have to be a lot of strong player leadership this year to weather that. Because even if they're having a successful season, there will be a lot of patches throughout the year where they're having to answer questions about that.
So I was asking the question, do we have the leadership? Because Jerry and them sabotaged themselves. They did. They messed themselves up, right? They really did. They came out and offered publicly the job to Dan Quinn, creating a potential mutiny in a locker room where certain guys might want to follow the leadership of Dan Quinn, and then other guys go want to follow the leadership of Mike McCarthy, and it takes away the authority of Mike McCarthy because it makes him appear as a lame duck. Do we have the internal leadership to stomach that? To be honest, to answer that question, I would say yes, we do have the leadership. And it's going to be on Dak Prescott. It wasn't something he asked for. It wasn't something that's on his job description, but it's also something that he has to clean up. It's something to where he has to hold the guys together through the mess that he didn't cause and that Mike McCarthy didn't cause. He got to hold it together, and this is the good news. He has a track record of doing that. So I want to remind everybody about that time where Dak was injured, right? And in that time, remember, it started being stuff that was happening that never happened before, right? And they was talking about one of the key things that happened that never happened before is you were seeing leaks. All right, remember you were seeing leaks. People was going to James Slater after Dak was injured, and they was talking about Mike Nolan, right? They was telling the truth, but the problem was they was going to the media to try to get the word out on the dysfunction of Mike Nolan. And a lot of people said if Dak would have been in the building, that never would have got out. Because the guys was doing what they was trying to do to win, but Dak don't like it that way. Dak liked for the team to handle all their problems within themselves. That's likely a reason why he didn't even vocally have Amari's back. I'm just being honest with y'all. Y'all want me to be honest, or y'all want me to lie to you? Because Dak, to me, is the type of guy that's going to side with his leadership, even when it's dysfunctional, because he's going to try to keep everything in-house. So, yes, it's going to be pressure. Even listen to that. Even with them winning 12 games, Bobby is already warning, the media already geared up to start talking about, hey, y'all just lost this game. Do y'all feel like Dan Quinn would have did a better job of leading these guys? Or Dan Quinn's defense is doing good? What's going on with your offense, Mike McCarthy? Should Dan Quinn take over? He's saying they already geared up to do that. He's saying they go do that even if they only lose 5 games. So every loss, the Dallas media is going to be asking about Dan Quinn replacing Mike McCarthy. It's already set up. And yeah, it's going to take special type of leadership to deal with this trash, dysfunction, and sabotage that we do to ourselves. That's also why you can never tell me that another quarterback is top 5. You can shut up. You can shut up. I ain't putting no quarterbacks over Dak in my top 5. Shut up. I ain't listening. Shut up.
Finish him.
Shut up. I ain't listening. You can kiss me all over. Shut up. Ain't no quarterback dealing with this dysfunction. None. None. No quarterback has to play through this dysfunction. None. And y'all got the nerve, Dak not top 10. These other quarterbacks don't deal with this shit. still got to be productive throughout all the issues that happened from his own organization that he had nothing to do with. I'm just telling the truth. See, that's why I'm independent. I can tell the truth. I ain't got no media credentials. I ain't got to go to the Star and ask for permission to be in the room with them. I can just say what it is. I could just say what it is. So all of y'all, Dak ain't top 10. Yeah, trying to fake like you a realist. Nah, you ain't no realist. If you was really a realist, you'll be talking about how Dak has to overcome the dysfunction and has been doing it consistently.
Yoga, fire.
Let me give myself some
Yoga,
fire.
flame.
Let me give myself some fire. So ain't nobody, I'm gonna act like a preacher. I'm gonna give myself some amen. So ain't nobody
Yoga,
else gonna give it
fire.
to me. I'm gonna give myself
Yoga,
some
fire.
fire. Since ain't nobody
Yoga,
else go.
flame.
Yeah, he top 5. Yeah, he top 5. The fact that he the only quarterback that got to deal with this shit.
Finish him.
He the only one that got to go out there and listen to what Bobby Bell said. It's gonna take the leadership to clean this up. God damn. So you didn't even cause the mess, but you got to clean it up.
You lose. So I mean, even if you go 12-5 this year again, that means that you're spending essentially 5 weeks of the season distracted by questions about your coach's job security. And so that's a tough position to be in. There's going to have to be a lot of strong player leadership this year to weather that. Because even if they're having a successful season, there will be a lot of patches throughout the year where they're having to answer questions about that. But I think that, yeah, Dan Quinn, if Mike McCarthy does enough to keep this job into 2023, that he shows improvement, at that point, I might see Dan Quinn saying, okay, all right, well, we rode this out for another year, but Mike McCarthy's done enough to keep this job, and they're going to roll forward with him, and I'll move on. But I just feel like in 2023, I would think it most likely that it would either be Mike McCarthy or Dan Quinn, and those would kind of be their options next year.
Bobby joins us now.
So, you know, this is why, obviously, it was necessary to go live on Saturday. This is my first Freestyle Saturday show. I've never done a Saturday show. Saturday is usually a time where I kind of pull back, gather my thoughts, relax a little bit. The OC usually takes over on Saturday with content. But, hey, I had to. No days off. Sorry.
Finish him.
It's just what it is. But, you know, it's the state of what we are. And at least at Boss Cowboy Sports, we go give you the real state. We not go give you the fake optimism. We go tell you what's really going on, right? And that's how we see it. So what's going on is they have real high standards on Mike McCarthy, and it's public. It can be some good in that, though. The thing about that is it is putting pressure on him to be at his best. It is. So even though front office stepped in it publicly, and I wish they would have did this privately instead of publicly, pressure still can be good because it's going to make him coach at his best. Because they know they put impossible standards on him. What they really saying, in my opinion, as I read the tea leaves of Bobby Belt and what he's saying, what they're saying is this. They're saying that they would rather keep Dan Quinn than Mike McCarthy. That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. Okay? And they saying the only way that we will get off that stance is you have to take us further than any coach has taken us in the last 26 years. If you don't take us there, we're going to get rid of you, Mike McCarthy. We're going to give Dan Quinn that head coaching job, and we're going to keep Kellen Moore. And that's going to be the new face going into 2024. If Mike McCarthy does not take this team to the NFC Championship at least. That's what it is. That's the standard. And they're doing it ugly. But hopefully it's still going to have good results because of the incentive Mike McCarthy has to be at his best. Yes, it's dysfunction. It is. It's straight dysfunction. It is. But this is the family that we're married to. Can I say that again? You can't pick your parents. You can't. If you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, you are in this marriage. You can't get out of this. You know, that don't mean you don't act like your family ain't got issues. But I still love my family. I do. But our family do got issues. And they made it hard on Mike McCarthy. They did. They took away weapons from him. They put a coach and a Trojan horse with more authority than him. Bobby Belt said himself, that the offense is Kellen Moore's, but Mike McCarthy will be judged by it. In what world does that make sense, y'all?
Yoga fire.
In what world does that make sense? To where the guy that's driving the car is Kellen Moore, but if he wrecks it, the person that they go make liable for the car crash, is Mike McCarthy. So even if Mike McCarthy, which he clearly did last year, and he was publicly lobbying for more targets for Amari. He was publicly lobbying for it. He said, I like it when Amari get the ball. It gets the crowd into the game. It takes pressure off the running game. You have to account for him early. It gets him going early. The crowd gets into it. He made a whole case on why you should target Amari. And Quad Boy still went with the systems over matchups. So that's what it's like to be in a family. That's what it is, you know? So let's just do our part, which we always do, and we really do here at Boss Cowboy Sports. We really do. Let's get our share on. Let's get our like on. The only thing we can do as fans is make our voices known, make them aware that we see it, and continue to call it out. I also have some videos that I did. If y'all haven't checked it out, y'all go check it out. On Leighton Vander Esch, how he was graded by PFF as top 10. Y'all make sure y'all check that out. I also did a all 22 on Novell. And then I did also another one on Fowler. All right. I also got some top 10 rankings on favorites. That's also in the video. So if y'all ain't doing nothing on Saturday and you want to kind of just get you some Dallas Cowboy content, get your binge on. They shorter videos, not like this one. But they get to the point. But what we really have to do is we got to get the word out. That's the only thing we can do. You know, that's what's making our voice matter. It's about is seeing it, but then secondly calling it out, and then putting the word out there, making our voice matter. And a lot of y'all do it. Y'all do it with the likes, y'all do it with the shares, y'all do it with all of that, and continue to, because Boss Cowboy Sports, we are now up to 3,600 subs. We got there very fast. Remember, we was just at 3,000 less than a month ago, so we already right there getting ready to be at 4,000 subs without doing any begging, without us being optimized. We still just kind of, you know, doing content by content as usual. But this is Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matter. Y'all stay up. We gonna continue to deliver the sauce and make our voice matter. So y'all stay up, man. It's Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matter. Peace.
Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matters.
Boss Cowboy Sports.